Northeastern. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate it. You know, this is I've been here for 5 years, been in Boston for 8. This is the first time I've ever heard of an event like this. So kudos to Nolan and everybody who put this on. It's very informative. I guess, you know, being on a college campus, do you have any advice for college students or college-age students as they go out into the collegiate community around this issue, raising awareness, proactivity? Because, you know, I didn't, you know, a lot of Googling names and everything, but it's like, you know, as I'm not a college student anymore, but you know, the young person, is there something that we can do on college communities? There's a lot of resources that are untapped, especially here at Northeastern, that I guess, you know, more students like Nolan and students in the audience can go out and do. So any advice you have moving forward?
I mean, one of the things I saw that. I mean, one of the things I think about. So one of the things I think about, as Nolan has definitely reflected here, so there's a piece where I am a believer. The reason why I started out with some of the sound clips I started out with, because Ballroom, the history of the Ballroom community, for me, has to be, and I'm not asking, but it has to be a part of the Black radical tradition. It has to be. And so when it's not, then it's problematic, right? And so that it has to also be engaged with other Black historical struggles. And when it's not, it's a problem. So for Black students here, one, I just believe that folks have to some degree step out on courage to be able to put on events like this. Two, I'm always a believer that students who oftentimes on college campuses have got to stop being in spaces of alienation from their community. There's this notion of existing in this hegemonic space only, right? And not necessarily being engaged in community, when in fact, community are always the one who create the ethics. Those who are in the academy get the credit for theorizing around the very lived experience. And so be courageous enough to understand that the history of being Black and gay is as significant as any other history, and that it is at a cost. To speak unapologetic is at a cost. To speak one's truth is at a cost, but you gotta speak it. Yeah. You gotta speak it.
Sharing. I guess I had a question. I grew up with my brother who was gay, so every act of my femininity I learned from my gay brother. To be honest with you, he taught me everything I know. I was a hot mess. My brother informed me, so I kind of have always realized, you know, like I always give credit to that, and I build within the community. Just kind of, I've been like that since I was 6. But I recently had a discussion amongst me, Nolan, and a couple of my friends about the relationship between Black women and women who are transgender now. And we viewed a video, and that he was saying that there was tension amongst the community. Okay, I'm sorry. You can probably talk about the video.
Madison was addressing an article that was written about the Black trans women dragging down.
Right, and I totally disagree. I think we've been built up by it. I mean, I know Rihanna and we'll never give credit to it, but like I said, we could never give credit to it. But I guess from your standpoint, has this been a reality? Is this something that's really true? Because I never thought about the actual conversation until it was actually just brought up between us. So I just wanted to hear you two ladies at the end, maybe your points of view on the actual subject matter.
I look at it like, you go. It's like this. Women need to realize, people on a whole need to realize that we need to accept the differences in each other. And when women, and especially women of color, they would, once they realize that I am trans, they would say to me, oh, well, you're not like me. You don't have this, you don't have that. So my push is, so is a woman who cannot have children, is she a man? And I believe that it is time that it's because we are pitted with this competition thing, and then we're taught that this is wrong and this is not right, and these people are abominations. But in all actuality, the trans woman is actually emulating the cisgender woman. And I say this because here we have this male kind of privilege, kind of, okay, so You're a guy, so now you're the strong one. You are in charge. You can do whatever you want to do, and everyone is just, and we teach our black men that. You are king. So therefore, what women don't realize is when they look down at a trans woman, they're actually looking down at themselves. Because what you're saying to others, to the world on a whole, is that you don't have value. A man is giving you your value. And that has to change. We cannot sit here and expect us all to say, so the trans women are against the women don't see the trans women. And the men have put that in your head. It's not supposed to be that way. We are all women, and to be accepted and to be understood is what we're all looking for. So again, we have to look at things from a human perspective and not a male privilege perspective.
Hello, my name is Akira. Thank you for coming to that. I want to thank you all for coming. As a Black woman, it's very empowering for me to be able to hear about the struggles of other groups. You know, I think that we as Black women are told that, you know, we're the bottom of the barrel, but learning that there's other people with other struggles is just very empowering and also enlightening to me. My question for you all is, and any one of you can answer this, is that like, just like the civil rights movement for all Black people, I think that this, the struggle for equality in the trans community, I guess, like, fighting for equality is very pertinent right now, because that's something that is like a pressure that's put on your community. Do you think in the future that like many Black people right now, we sort of like disperse, and a lot of Black people don't think that there's anything wrong with racism and all that, post-racial society? Do you think that that is the future of your movement, or like, could you address that?
So, a couple of things real quick. I appreciated your comment prior. I appreciated your comment and your following, because, you know, part of what you said is really, really pertinent. This notion of what patriarchy does. So we really have to be able to be in a space to interrogate these systems of oppression. This is what patriarchy does. But you just talked about how Black women are at the bottom of the barrel. Zora Neale Hurston talks about how Black women are the mules of the earth. They've been trampled on over and over again. And I'm always saying that if Black women are the mules of the earth, then Black trans women are lodged somewhere between Howard Thurman's Disinherited and Franz Fanon's Wretch of the Earth, right? And this is a white supremacy is a patriarchal notion. Anything supreme is patriarchal. Anything that says it's more than is patriarchal. So we have to interrogate that, right? The other thing around movement and around dispersing, some of the challenges in being grassroots or marginalized in movement is that the marginalized sooner or later want to be normalized, right? And so if you look at Black Panther movement, it became co-opted by middle classes. If you look at civil rights movement, the tension between SNCC and SCLC, it got co-opted by middle classism. If I had time, I would have showed a sound clip of Sylvia Rivera, who was a Puerto Rican trans woman, and who put her line along with Miss Majors, along with Marsha P. Johnson, during the Stonewall Rebellion. And then in 1969, and 4 years later at a gay liberation rally, she has to force herself on stage because white gay men would allow her to be on stage. Now here is this Puerto Rican trans woman whose life allowed for these white gay men to have a rally called Gay Liberation, right? And she had to force herself on stage. And one of the things that she says, almost omen-like, that you have the audacity for me to now allow me to be on stage, and we have to push against this white middle class, this gay white middle class club. That's 1973. 42 years later, we talk about marriage equality. Understand what conservative project. So the normalization, marginalized wants to be normalized. I say all that to say, I say dissertation, you say 1 + 1 = 2. I say all that to say that what TYRA said in the beginning, that all of LGBT movement come out of the trans discourse first and foremost. So this movement around trans is not a new movement. It is the first movement. It's just been invisibilized. And the universe is a rewarding universe.
it'll bring you back up again.